What's going on, everyone? It's Sean from Worldwide Red Show. If you're new around here, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, get involved. Listen, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been doing a lot of content lately. Many of you know I'm in the middle of a major life transition, so things have been really hectic. Things have been crazy, and I'm still actually moving. I did one move that's temporary, another move coming up later. So I've actually had to step back a little bit, but because of what just happened, I come out of a little bit of sabbatical to do a show with my guy Usman. Usman Talks United. If you guys don't know, go over and check him out. Subscribe to everyone there. It was an awesome show. And right in the middle of the show, Alice from Alice Talks United says to us, "Ed's gone." And I'm like, "What?" And like, we were talking about something really serious, and I don't know what else to say. This is the most ridiculous thing because, we were talking about the Super League situation from an American perspective, and I was trying to bring some light to the situation in regard to the fact that we don't, a lot of players, they took a stand for the fans, but because of what the Super League has to offer, a lot of the people that were against the Super League, there was a motive on why they were against it. Let's not get it twisted. If some clubs were mad because they weren't invited, right? BT and all them were mad because they didn't have the streaming rights. That was an Amazon thing. Some of the players were mad because they weren't going to be in it. Because, if it's an NBA structure, let's put it to you this way. The top player in the NBA makes $1 million a week, where David De Gea makes, what, $350. So it's all about the money. It's always about the money. And when you have businessmen running something, they are trained to make more profit. It's not about winning. If they can make the most profit with the least investment, that's business. And we know Manchester United have been a business. Now, here's the thing. We've won with terrible owners before. And potentially with the right structure and the right leadership, I think we can still win even with the Glazers, because even though they've spent poorly, we do spend some money. I don't like them. I want them out. Could you imagine Manchester United with people such as the owners of City? Or, for example, I saw some of you on Twitter saying, big up to PSG. They're not going into the Super League. The only reason PSG weren't going to the Super League is because they're owned by Qataris. Qataris, well, they bought out UEFA to get something called the World Cup on the cheap with dirty money and all that kind of stuff. Well, Mbappe and Neymar said no to the Super League right now because a World Cup's coming up in Qatar. Don't get it twisted, right? It's all about the money. It's not about us. But fan pressure shifted this, in my opinion. And guys, listen, ding dong, the witch is gone. Ed Woodward, Sir Ed of Woodward, this joker who's been really running Manchester United for a long time, he resigned today. Let's see who we got going on here. We have what's going on, Jamie? Good to see you, man. Kobe, good to see you. Yes, I agree completely. Time to get him out of the club. Bro, listen, Jamie, let me tell you what, if it happens, if we had for example, if this was happening last year when we were hearing of a takeover from the Saudis, this will create some kind of issue because there's so much politics in football, and this country don't like that country and whatever. But could you imagine Manchester United with unlimited backing of someone who wanted to win? Because the one thing about a lot of these wealthy people in the Middle East that are, especially the oil guys, a lot of these oil barons, there's a certain amount of competition that exists between them where they want to win. Could you imagine our fan base with the right structure and someone in charge who wanted us to win? My days, we would be. Listen, I am so excited. Here's the thing: Jamie is spot on with this comment, because the Glazers are businessmen, and we are hemorrhaging money, right? Manchester United are hemorrhaging money from not being, because of COVID. It's crushing a lot of teams around the world. This is now becoming a bad investment to some degree because of what they're losing. The Super League was going to be the thing that bolstered their pockets in such a way. I mean, I think, what is it when you make the Champions League? I don't know. It's like close to 100 million you get. But the Super League was going to be like 400 mil a year. Could you imagine what? So here's the thing. Do I like the Glazers? Negative. Do I want them out? Absolutely. Did I want Ed Woodward anywhere in my club? No way. But if I put myself in the Glazers' shoes, right, without being a football fan, take that out of it, as a business owner, because I am a business person, and and I understand how ruthless business has to be. At the end of the day, they can't keep losing this type of money because they bought the club on debt. Over $700 million of leverage takeover, which, by the way, is one of the most corrupt things in the history of sport. And the fact that that was even allowed to happen by the Premier League and by governing bodies is shameful. Let me say this to you. But when you invite these types of people into your sport, I'm an American. This is how all of our sports run, okay? So I could have told you from the break, when you bring these people in your club, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get this type of greed, and it's about the money. And the thing is, this Super League, who would have it benefited? The owners above all else. Now, here's the amazing thing I find us. The big thing that gets me is the hypocrisy of us now getting excited because we took the side of UEFA over the Super League. When UEFA, they just suspended someone for defending themselves over racism. So let's not act like UEFA is something we need to defend. If anything, the Super League threatened. Who did it threaten, really? Let's stop and think about it now that it's gone, because we all wanted it gone. Who did it threaten? Sky and BT, who are responsible for all this money for the most part that had got into the Premier League originally. So why do you think Gary Neville and all these guys are speaking out against it? Because of you and because of me? Because they care for the fans? Negative. They did it because they saw their pockets was about to get hit, because Amazon and Jeff Bezos was buying the rights to stream Super League matches along with Zuckerberg and Facebook. So Bezos, Zuckerberg, Disney were all the three that were coming in to buy the rights to this, right? And, I heard someone on another channel who I respect say, see, all these Trump guys. First off, know your politics before you spit crap over YouTube. None of those folks are Trump guys. They're the other side. But because they have money, you assume they're on one side. Chill with all that. The fact is, there are people on every side of a political spectrum that got money, and money rules their world. The fact is, many of us don't have that luxury, so we're hungry, we're passionate, we love our team, and we hate what we've seen happen at Manchester United. But here is the fact of the matter. Ed is gone, and it's time. Listen, tomorrow morning, I promise you guys this, I will call someone on a local, it's not local, it's a nationwide radio program, Sirius XM FC, for you that have Sirius XM. Maybe you're a Yank and you're watching this, or I don't know if they have it in Europe. But I'll call the football show tomorrow and get through, and I'll talk. Hopefully Charlie's on the show, Charlie Stilatano, who's one of the most powerful men in soccer, which is what they call it here in the States, but in football. Which by the way, Charlie Stilatano, me and him have went round and round on his show at times about the Glazers. I know he is personal friends with Ed Woodward and the Glazers. And so I'll be interested to hear his take on this, and I will put a bug in his ear to tell him the next time he speaks to, because he'll probably speak to either Sir Alex, Joel, or someone within the next, he's probably talking to him now, but I will say, listen, pick up your phone, tell them, pick up the phone and call Edwin, call Paul Mitchell, get somebody in our club that knows football and wants to run the club as a football. Listen, we make money as it is. Could you imagine if we were once again where we belong? And yes, I said belong because I'm entitled. Yes, I am. I'm that United fan. I'm a filthy, entitled United fan that wants us to win everything, because when I started following this great club, we started winning everything. Listen, it cost me mad peas, as you guys say, to fly over and watch a match. And I want to know that our owners want to win as bad as I want us to win. Anyway, let me get to some of these comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. What's going on, my guy? I see you representing. I see you guys. Owen, how you doing, sir? Ed is going. Spreadsheet, Ed, I love it. The Glazers need to go as well. My gracious. Could you imagine, man? We got rid of both of them at once. Wow. Kobe, what's going on? Yeah, big up to Chelsea for creating this domino effect. The Chelsea fans really pushed. And here's the thing, guys. An interesting thing about Chelsea is they don't need a Super League, right? Their owner wants to win. They don't need a Super League. They're going to keep doing their thing without it. So big up to them, though. Chelsea doing their thing. You love to see it. Also, real quick, my God, man, look who made an appearance today. Today has been mad, right? Kieran says, But here's the question. If the Glazers do leave, who's going to buy? More Crooks or a 50+1 fan model? My gracious. Good question. Because ultimately, we know Jim Ratcliffe is a United family, so I've heard that, but I don't think he's going to buy. To be honest with you, Kieran, as much as I don't like the moral implication of it, let's be honest with ourselves. Many billionaires, not all, many billionaires have somewhat got there in some way or another with some kind of morals that don't match my own. So right now I don't want to think about the moral high ground. I want to think about winning. So ultimately, could you imagine us with the competition that would exist between the Saudis and the Qataris or the Emiratis or these different people? If the Saudi crown prince came and bought Manchester United, could you imagine what they could do? I mean, what's he worth? Something like 700 and some billion dollars. So I mean, debt's paid off. I mean, literally, he could drop $4 billion on the club and not even miss it. So I mean, I would love to see someone with that passion, but again, we shall see. Sometimes, Kieran, sometimes it's better the devil you know. And so what I would like to see is ultimately the Glazers out. But that's what I would love to see in the long run. But in the short run, I would love to see what we could do. Because here's the thing about the Glazers, many of you don't know because you don't follow some American sports or hear them talk. They don't talk much, and when they do, it's typically in America. But I know that there are some Glazers who actually want to see United win. But I mean, it's not like they're not over watching the games and all excited like that. But there's an argument even within the Glazer family themselves about what should be done and what put into the club and not. I do know that because I've argued with people that know them personally about that. So I'd like to see what we could do in a summer where we just had real structure, right? A real director of football, not this mates rate stuff, who's best with who or whatever. But I'm talking like you bring in someone like Edwin or bring in someone who really knows the European game, someone that loves United, someone that can really do a good job. Let's put the club first. Let's put the field, what happens on the pitch first, and let's see what we can do because we cannot deny the fact that the Glazers have spent money. Now, they are grimy. Yes, they do take out dividends. Yes, we could do better. Absolutely. And we all want them out, everybody. But I think that with the right structure, the right people, now that Ding Dong Ed is out, I think that we could still win. Maybe we won't get back to being who we should be until the Glazers go, but I think we could still win something because, I mean, even though our net spend's only like 80 million, 70 or 80 million a summer, there's a lot of teams in Europe that are way more successful, way stronger right now on the pitch than us that spend a lot less. So sometimes it's about having the right structure in place, the right people. But yeah, I'm going to read this out with you guys. For the first time in a while, we have the moon, get these greedy pigs out of our clubs. I believe that totally. It's funny that Jamie said this because on the show I just came off of, I made a comment about that. Like someone needs to get up on the phone right now and make a phone call. Man, last I saw, I thought that the Glazers only wanted 4, but maybe they do want more. I believe. Listen, Jamie, we're right in the same vicinity, right, with this, bro. I'm right with you. And so again, hopefully, don't employ another Glazer puppet. For me, like I said, I want the Glazers out. Obviously, they don't invest enough in the club, but I understand them as businessmen. But the thing is, let's take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for example. I've been saying this for a long time. He's not one to buck up against the ownership with some things that he's done and said. And by the way, for you guys that believe all these coaches and people that said they knew nothing of the Super League until like this weekend, if you believe that, then I've got some oceanfront property right in St. Louis that I'd love to sell you dirt cheap here in the States. Because at the end of the day, I knew about the Super League. Many of you knew about the Super League. They were talking about this a long time ago. This has been in the works. This is not new. So you mean to tell me that you and I, most of us have heard about this, but yet the people in the middle of the game haven't heard about it? Bollocks. They're just trying to cover their own selves right now because of the fan reaction. Trust me, if fans would not have reacted the way that they did about this, right? This was absolutely going to go through. Because you forget, how do you think the Premier League started? The Premier League started with a couple clubs. Arsenal was one of the main ones, but United as well, who said, we're tired of basically not getting our fair share and have certain things happen. and they were splitting off to start their own thing. This is how this stuff happens. And so, it's interesting. I didn't want a super league, but not for some of the reasons that some of you guys might want it. I didn't want it for more sentimental reasons and different things. But I mean, who was going to hurt from a super league the most when it comes down to financially? UEFA, who are corrupt, and BT and Sky, because they were losing their rights. So, I stepped back, take a 10,000-foot view. And, it's funny how Gary Neville and these guys who, don't get me wrong, I love what Gary said, but it's funny how, these guys don't come out that strong against racism or other things that happens, but when you're working for BT or Sky and you realize that all these matches in this Super League are going to be streamed on Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and Facebook, then it behooves you to want to have a strong opinion. So anyway, like I said, I'm right with you guys. I'm right. Like I said, I'm right with Jamie on this. I don't even know what to say, guys. This is a listen. As Ice Cube said today, I didn't even have to use my AK. And in America, you can actually have one of those. Today was a good day. Ooh, it was a good day. It's a good day to be a United fan. It's a good day because it's like sometimes it's dark just before dawn. Even if it's a false hope, just let us revel in it, guys. Until next time, this has been Sean. 15 minutes. Just want to jump out with you. Worldwide Red Show. Like, subscribe, get involved. It would take something like this to get me off of my quick sabbatical. But I'm gonna start trying to jump in some more streams, and hopefully tonight some of my guys I typically support I can jump on and be with. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching wherever you may be. Like, share, subscribe, get involved in all that, and I will listen. I move completely and get settled by mid-July. Come the fall, I'll be back at it full time. Anyway, it's the Yank that you love to love, or maybe not. I'm out.